affected the way I lived. At 18, I joined the U.S. Marine Corps. I went to boot camp, itself a rite of passage, and then went on to become a communications specialist, working with radios and other communications gear. But I was still a carny and a businessman at heart. The many skills I'd picked up in that trade would serve me well in the civilian world. So after my stint in the Marines, I used my natural inclination for business and jumped right in. I joined the Coca-Cola Company in 1985 as a delivery man, and later became a route salesman. I quickly rose to management ranks, beginning as an assistant supervisor in a Greensboro, North Carolina distribution plant. 6 years earlier, after I had returned home from Marine Corps boot camp, I had begun to date my Sheila, the girl I would one day marry. I knew by our second date that this was the woman I would spend the rest of my life with. She was a Christian, and eventually she would love and pray me into the faith. Over the next 10 years, we would have our 4 children, who have been the greatest blessings of our lives. Learning about wrestling, Coca-Cola, and being a man. In the meantime, I'd developed an additional skill set. Football had been a big part of my life growing up, and I'm a pretty big guy, so naturally I thought I would try my hand at professional wrestling. As a side business in North Carolina, I became one half of the professional wrestling tag team, Destruction Incorporated. At that point, I had been affiliated with Coke for 2 years, so my ring name was Sergeant Sprite. I introduced myself to my fans this way. I'm 245 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. The man with the power too sweet to be sour. Women want to love me, men want to fight me. I'm the king of sting, the freight train of pain. Ooh, baby, ain't I pretty? Okay, so I wasn't exactly humble. My partner and I lasted 18 months and won lots of fans, but I quit after one of our opposing wrestlers put a dangerous move on me that he agreed he wouldn't use. He could have broken my neck. I was driven to succeed in business and rose quickly up the Coca-Cola corporate ladder. That led to my being in Burlington, North Carolina, in the early 1990s, managing a Coke plant with about 100 employees. I attribute my position to hard work, but also to the principles I learned in the carnival trade from my great-uncle, Woody McBride. My business training proved invaluable since I learned how to manage people from a very early age. But I didn't get a lot of training on what it really meant to be a man. At this point, I was 32. I had not attended church in 8 years other than for a wedding or a funeral. Through a set of circumstances, no doubt engineered by God, I overheard some co-workers talking about their faith. The Lord was tugging at my heart, and when I heard one of the men inviting another to visit his church, I actually butted in and asked why he didn't invite me. Of course, he immediately did. I went home and told Sheila that I had accepted an invitation to church, and her reaction, well, let's just say she was astonished. As a believer, she had been praying for me. For 8 years, she had even been bringing her Christian friends to the house in the hope that something would rub off, and I would give my life to Christ. The leader who wasn't leading. We went to church the next Sunday morning, which happened to be Super Bowl Sunday, and the pastor's message was, "Whose team are you quarterbacking? God's or Satan's?" He asked, "Are you leading people to heaven or hell with your actions?" It was as though he was speaking directly to me. I wasn't an idiot. I knew I was a leader, and I sure wasn't leading anyone to heaven. I wasn't focused on the Lord. I was focused on myself. People looked up to me because I was successful, but my model of success was different from the Lord's, and I was leading people astray with my actions. The pastor said, "It doesn't matter whether you're the sweeper or the CEO at a company. There is somebody who looks up to you. There is somebody you have influence over, somebody who is modeling their life after yours." I felt convicted for the first time. Could it be true that my actions were leading people to hell?